Once again, we just translate from English to math. We know that we have 11,500 employees in one category, but that is not the total amount of employees. That is only 21.2% of the employees. So what this means is that 21.2% of all employees is 11,500. And I know that grammatically that might not be the best way to phrase it, but it works. So let's translate that to an equation. 21.2% of means multiply. A bunch of employees is 11,500. Once it is an equation, I immediately see all I need to do is divide by 0.212. And I get a number that is a decimal, but we're talking about numbers of employees. And so that doesn't really make sense to talk about a fractional part of a person. And that's why it says to round your answer off to the nearest whole number. So the nearest whole number would be 54,245. And I need to include my units, employees. And that is how it's done. Again, my answer does seem reasonable because the 11,500 employees is only about 1/5 or 21.2% of the total. Therefore, the total that I'm looking for should be significantly higher. And it turns out it is. So if I had ended up with an answer like 2,000 employees total, that simply would not make sense. It just wouldn't. On this one, they tell us that the original price of the car is 45,500, and they are going to increase the price by 14%. So what that means is the new price is going to be the original 45,500 for the original 100% plus another 14%. Therefore, the new price is going to be 114% of the original price. It's important to understand what I just said. So you may need to review the beginning of this particular problem a few times. The original price of $45,500 corresponds to 100%. The original amount of anything corresponds to 100%. But we want to add to that another 14%, so the new price is 114%. The original price plus another 14%. Now, written as a decimal, that would be 1.14. So that's what we get for part A, is 1.14. So when we multiply 1.14 times the original price of $45,500, we get $51,870. And I don't need to put the dollar sign in this time because it's already there. So make sure you know how to do this. There are certainly things in algebra classes that you don't explicitly use after you graduate. However, understanding percents and how they work, this is definitely one thing that will come in handy as you do different things in the world. So on this one, the house starts with a value of $436,000 and it goes up by 7% in value. So how many dollars did it increase in value? It increased 7% of the original amount, which is $30,520. What about part B? What is the new price of the house? The new price of the house is going to be the original amount of $436,000 plus the amount of dollar increase, which is going to be $466,000 or $466,520. That would be, well, the current value of the house, the new value. Another way to do that would be to just say 107% of the original amount of the house. And that would give you the answer to part B as well. For this one, an item is 70% of the original price, which was $39. So what is the sale price? The sale price is 70% of the original price, which is $27.30. That's it. It's just like stuff we've already done, just a different story to go with it. So the price of an item has been reduced by 60%. It was $35. Now how much does it cost? There are two ways I could do this. One way is to do $35 minus 60% of $35, which would be $14. That makes sense. If the price has been reduced by 60%, then that means more than half of the price has been eliminated. Therefore, the new price of the item should be less than half of what it was originally. Half of 35 is $17.50. And so it should be less than $17.50, which it is. It's only $14. An alternative method for doing this would be to say, if I am reducing this by 60% from the original 100%, then that means that the new price of the item is going to be 40% of the original. So 40% of the original $35 turns out to also be $14. I don't care which way you do it, the first way or the second way. But they both work just fine, and both will always work just fine. The listed price of the TV is $574.98. Tax is 7 1/4%. So how much do you pay total? You will pay $574.98 plus 7 1/4% of $574.98, which is $616.67. And the answer makes sense. If you buy something for $574.98, you would expect to pay a bit more, not tons more, but certainly a bit more, and $616.67 definitely seems reasonable. An alternative method would have been to recognize that we will be paying 107 1/4% of the listed price. And that takes us back to the same answer. Either way is fine. One way to tackle this one would be to say 287 is some percent of 281. And that gives us 1.021. This means that $2.87 is 1.021 or 102.1% of the original price. So the new price is 102.1% of the original price. Therefore, you are paying 2.1% more because the original 100%, that represents the $2.81. And you have a 2.1% increase. And of course, that's not the only way to do it, but I'll leave that up to you to find an alternate method.